Salut everybody, welcome back to this channel. Thank you so much for continuing to watch our videos. So today we're going to be doing a verbatim read from The Language and Keys of Love, Stacey Amewoyi, which is me and you, our favorite author, So make sure that you can get this copy on Amazon eBooks, Barnes and Noble. You can also get it directly from staceyfoundation.org, which is the website address. And let's get started. Before I start, last time I read the little summary at the back. Today I'll be doing the table of contents. Yes, go straight to the table of contents where all the goodies are, in my opinion, of course. And today I would like to take it nice and slow so people can actually follow along. So when you go to the table of contents, she lists all the chapters. So let's say chapter 1, we have Love at Somewhere, which is the one that we're going to be doing today. I did the first half the other day, and today I'll be continuing the second half. Okay, so it says Love at Somewhere. Chapter 2, For Better or For Worse. Chapter 3, Does the Bible tell us exactly who to marry? It's a question, and you're going to find out when you read chapter 3. Chapter 4 says Anger in Relationships. Chapter 5 says Living with Diversity. Chapter 6 says Love and Sex. Ooh, scandalous. Chapter 7 says Disorders. Chapter 8 says Communication, which is very important. Not just communication, but effective communication, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get to that. And then also chapter 9 says Marriage and Family. Chapter 10, Financial Stability. Okay, something educational. Chapter 11 says Gentle Present. Chapter 12 says Guardian Angel, or the Guardian Angel, as it says here. Then chapter 13 says The Characteristics of Abigail. Ooh, this is a person's name. I'm interested to see who that person is. Chapter 14 says Marriage and Happiness. Chapter 15 said Pride. Chapter 16 says Wrong Concepts of Marriage. Yes, there are so many wrong connotations and wrong ideologies concerning marriage. Chapter 17 says, Does Bible prohibit sexual pleasure? Does the Bible prohibit sexual pleasure? Well, does it? I don't know. Biblical scholars out there, you probably know the answer. It says, chapter 18 says, How the devil manipulates marriage and married couples. Okay. Chapter 19 says, Love or Money. If you'd ask me, I'm not gonna give you an answer. It's both. Then we go to self-love, which is chapter 20. Chapter 21 says reckless love. Ooh, reckless. And then chapter 22 says all things go with love. Yes, they do. Chapter 23 says it's not easy. No, it's not. And then chapter 24 says every wife is a good material only if the husband is a good tailor. Ooh. Chapter 25 says time and management. Yes, time management is a big factor in relationships, in any aspects of life, really. And then chapter 26 says the mindsets behind successful relationships. Yes, to every successful relationship is a successful mindset. I say that all the time. Chapter 27 says wedding. Chapter 28, which is the last chapter, and that's page 204, it's marrying your friend. We all want to end up with our best friend, somebody who we're compatible with, somebody who, we actually want to spend the rest of our lives with. So let's get started. We're continuing from chapter 1, the half of it. We already read the first half, which was Love at Somewhere. We're going to continue with that. It continues from page, let's see. Okay, page 10, and I'll be starting from, is it page 10? No, it's not page 10. I skipped ahead. It's actually page 8. Okay, and it starts with sincerity. Okay, so it says sincerity, respect, and firmness are essential for a fair game. They tend to be people or stages of life in which they flee from commitment and intimacy, and it is normal to play several bands. They either promise nor communicate themselves. They only take into account your feelings and needs, and they are passionate about novelty and change. Trying to get him into the street is a mistake that is often made, but when you do not agree with this style, it is best to erase your phone. Instead of dedicating an attention and a time that even they are not claiming, and if one is at the stage where he feels ready to play, always clean, the rules are served. Okay, then we start a new paragraph. It says, a third style consists of those friends who little by little become lovers and can barely remember when everything started. It is about relationship which tenders, trust, and commitment prevail, and they are constituted on the basis of a deep knowledge of friendship. Okay, there is passion, there is a game, but they give a wide margin of their partners and to themselves, and they usually feel comfortable with the idea of belonging to a group. They do not usually enter directly when they want to conquer a person, but prefer social, friendly, and gradual encounters and let time cast a cable into the development of the relationship. This style can be combined to a great or greater extent, and from three come the different types of couples we are used to. The question is that everyone says I love you, but finally it is we individually we decide how we want to be loved. And if that is very useful to know what colors love dresses and which one best suits our desires more intimate. It says, love is a subject already well versed. Poets, musicians, philosophers, psychologists, psychoanalytics, and theologians have devoted much of their existence in unraveling the existential twists of love. Love is love in time of anger, love as a meaning of life, love your neighbor as yourself, love until it's meaning of life, love your neighbor as yourself, love until it hurts. God loves the world so much that he gave his son. Love me even with my teeth. Love, sweetheart. Love in times of Facebook. Yes, love in times of Facebook. Sarcastic. All of the previous sentences are stamped under preconceptions. The whole point of present line is to know why I fell in love with her and not with another, or why she fell in love with him and not with another. What has to happen for a human being to fall in love specifically, which someone has not felt that same way or with someone else? For psychiatrists, love is a matter of neurotransmitters and chocolates. For psychologists, love is a matter of learning, and for psychoanalytics, love is a matter of transference and re-edition of opus. He loves according to how he was loved. We love according to the quantum of love received, the quantum of love of our mother. We love in the direct proportion of love received, and we love the person who remains or can remind us that love that is placed where we were, and we obtain the most sincere show of human affection. Tell me how they loved you and tell me how you will love. To carry out the choice of couples has much to do with the experiences acquired in early childhood. Both men and women have as their first object of love their mother. This is why one can't glimpse the mysteries of love. Perhaps reflecting on this, we can understand a little way a couple despise and the madness and the generated in their interactions. There is something stronger than units, and it is not the love that they have for each other. It is something deeper. It is a love that was established in their earliest childhoods, and the adults you can keep on. Hit me, but do not leave me, since that feeling of abandonment would remain him, of a prior abandonment of his parents, abandonment that he would not be able to endure. Love is a mystery that is crossed by an infinity of artifacts, but above all by transference. That is, what we feel in the present life has a lot to do with the first bonds of love that we have established in most tender childhood. Loving means knowing how to yield. It implies learning to fold your hands when it's time to come. When time comes, as the rock philosopher A. Gerardo Laura would say, a scenario happened when a woman caught her cheating husband, but for the sake of their innocent child and the fear of God, she forgave the husband's sinful act. But the male ego controlling him never apologized to the wife. After the incident, the man never slept with his wife, rather still have an affair with his fiancée. The woman, as a good Christian, thought the husband would change, but it never happened. Is it simple if your partner cheated and you forgive him or her? Would you describe the woman's behavior? It is good for the wife to break up for marriage. If you answer no, anyway, she's going through a lot. Can she still be in this marriage whereby the husband abuses her? Food for thought. Says, can you be ignorant when loving someone? Some people do not understand the real meaning of love and makes them ignorant. It says, what about when people say love is blind? Blind can make you ignorant whatever you are going through in your relationship or marriage. Can you stay in your relationship and go through abuse and dishonesty from your partner if in the sake of love is blind? What about you killing yourself softly? Many people die from abusive marriages. Not having a sexual intercourse with your partner can cause a divorce. Both men and women can deny themselves sex. This can lead into a problem in a marriage. Do you think it can cause a marriage breakup? Well, most marriages break up because of the lack of sex. Sex is a pleasure. It can solve some grievances between the couples, but the irony is most women deny their husband sex. The opposite is thirsty. The opposite is 30%. Birds with the same feathers flock together, but marriages couple with the same color hate themselves, abuse each other, cheat on each other, kill each other. Oh, why human beings created with God's own image. If we cease to learn from nature, we will fail to live as natural people. Let love one another. Then the next says, oh, the pain of loving someone who does not love you back. But what are you going to do when an innocent man or woman has set his eyes on you? You fell in love with someone else who doesn't love you. When you love someone who does not love you, it leads to two things, pain or more pain. But everyone's love is a lesson to learn. With this form of unrequited love comes the lessons of love and letting go and moving on. So what happens when you surrender to the feeling and you fall in love with someone who can't correspond to your feelings? Oh no, it's not happening. At the beginning there's denial. Of course you believe that the love you feel will be returned in his rosy vision. There really is no such thing. Know your heart. When you love someone who does not and cannot love you again, it feels as if you've given your heart to someone and sees him trampling over it. It's painful, it's okay. Pain, despair, and loneliness suppresses you. You find yourself rolling around in your bed on a Saturday night, watching sad movies and filling your face with all comfort food you will find. And yes, cry many, because people have loved as if you had never. However, you are on the losing side of the love for the person who does not love you. If you love your relationship and was wrong, then you may be a natural explanation for the breakup. Sometimes people become unhappy and leave relationships. But if things went well and then suddenly there was a change, this is one of the key symptoms of how to know if my partner was a witchcraft. This type of spell can work by breaking a person's feelings for you, converting those feelings into another person, or even taking control of the person's will. In all cases, love spells of this type are perhaps best described as curse of love, arrangement of voodoo, and can make or break a good relationship suddenly. If a person has suddenly left you for someone who is suspected of practicing any of spiritual or magic arts, then you have reasons to suspect that the love spell has been cast. It is certainly not a test. Not everyone, not even a majority of people who practice any kind of magic or ordinary spirituality will use it in this way. That is a symptom and a warning sign to be aware. If you love and your love becomes distant, instead of you unloving this, you can give a clue as to how to know if any former partner was witchcraft. Similarly, if you suddenly become hostile or aggressive despite being kind and loving in the past, there's another symptom. Personality changes that are apparently unrelated to love spells and can be symptoms, since many of these spells work by changing personalities and free will. It can also happen that you contact an ex and alternately an ex makes contact with him or her, Old relationships rarely last without some strength to do so. If a former partner has been of your life for a long time but suddenly returns, that can also be a very strong signal that some spiritual force has been used to bring them back. Alright, so I'll take a commercial break, and then after sipping some water, we will continue from where we left off. We're still in the first paragraph. I guess since this is longer, we're going to break into 3 sections. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and watch out for the next.